Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, everyone. Today is November the 7th, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500 and where we left off on Friday. We had a great bullish week. I'm also going to be taking a look at 7 stocks that are ready to break higher going into tomorrow. But before we get started, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you are interested in trading with us at Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord, we have a link in the description. We have a current promo, winter promo for 99 bucks. For 2 months of membership. It entails swing trading, day trading, options callouts, along with market analysis, analyst upgrades, and the whole 9 yards. So if you are interested in trading with us, there's a link in the description that should take you out to the checkout page. With that being said, here is the S&P chart 500 open here. And as you guys can see here, we did push to all-time highs at that 4720 mark before closing out Friday's session just below that 4,700 psychological resistance, which was pretty bullish. You know, we started off Monday here, breaking past that 4620 barrier. We consolidated here into this bull flag. We broke out of the bull flag, creating another one underneath that 4680 before ultimately on Friday breaking up on a gap up to that 4720. We did have a drop down on the gap, filling it at that 4680 mark. And as I said, we did close bullish at that $4,700 mark. Now, overall, going into tomorrow, I am looking for that break of 4,700, but my entries would be that 4720 area for potential push and take profits of number one, 4730, and 4750 as my second take profit. Now, we did have some bullish news, and recently Congress passed this $1.2 trillion infrastructure package after the market close. And you know, this still needs the final signature from Biden. And as you guys know from previous years, the whole situation with Trump and getting the signature and the final okay with China and the communication, there was a lot of back and forth action. So guys, understand that nothing is 100% clear cut until a signature is on this bill. And during that time, the markets can fluctuate and react towards this type of news. So some of the stuff that's being part of this bill is basically $550 billion towards funding towards transportation over the next 5 years. And in addition to that, there will include $25 billion into airports, waterways. The bill also provides about $7.5 billion into low emission buses, ferries, electric school buses, and the whole EV sector. You know, some analysts say that this bill could positively impact the economy, and some of this is already priced in, right? But can also push the markets even further. But you know, we still have the COVID worries, and that could also hinder the economic growth. So as of right now, the economy is at all-time highs. The S&P is at all-time highs. So this type of bill, after it's signed, it is definitely bullish towards the market. But as you guys know, and what you guys know from previous fast, that it's going to fluctuate back and forth until this bill is 100% signed by President Biden. So it's a wait and see approach, but overall, it is going to raise taxes and it is going to affect your taxes. But however, you know, the transportation department, the Dow can definitely benefit from this, you know, and you know, it's a wait and see approach at the moment. But overall, as analysts have said, a lot of this price action has already been priced into the market. And analysts do have bullish targets going into next year, quarter number one, at $5,000 on the S&P 500. At the moment, all we can do as traders is look ahead. And right now, 4,700 is that key target going into tomorrow. All right. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am looking at 7 names to break higher this week. And the first name that I'm going to be looking at that had a great week was NVIDIA. NVDA is your ticker. And as you guys can see here on NVIDIA, we did have a strong week breaking above that 260 area, pushing up all the way to all-time highs at that 314 mark. Now, we do have bullish analyst upgrades with a 320 price target by Wells Fargo. So that's amazing. They also did release their new GPU, which was definitely bullish. It did have a 15 to 16% move that day alone on Thursday and Friday. So stuff like this definitely pushed the markets higher. Most notably, SMH was up 4% in one day. So overall, the semiconductor sector, the leader being NVIDIA, did definitely benefit from that. Now, going into next week, we did close here on Friday's session just below that 305 resistance point. I am looking above that. And above that, I am looking for a retest of 314 all-time highs. And I have a second take profit of that 318 mark. As I mentioned, overall, the analysts did upgrade the stock target to 320, and we did have a strong push all throughout the week. Now, during these times, you may get a pullback, and what I'm looking at for a pullback is that 293, 294 area. We did wick down before buyers stepped in and closed Friday session pretty bullish, just underneath the $300 mark. Now, if that 293, 294 area breaks, we do have short-term resistance at 286, which would be my first take profit on a scalp trade and a puts down to that area. Now, if that doesn't hold, we also have 270, which was the breakout point on NVIDIA. And, the stock's pretty bullish right now, guys, and I would be looking above that 305 mark going into tomorrow for continued move higher. Okay. Tesla, next name, TSLA is the ticker. And here is Tesla on the 30-minute mark, guys. And Tesla, it did pretty well as well. Here we are over here on Monday around that 1130 to 1150 mark. We did some consolidate quite a bit. Buyers did hold that 1120 line right here. As you guys can see from these long wicks, that just shows that the buyers were holding that 1120 line and did not want the stock to go below that. We did have a nice push all the way to that 1220 area before coming back down to retest that breakout point of 1150. Now, when stocks come down here to retest, is to see if buyers are still strong, and buyers again protected that line and essentially consolidating around that 1150 to 1180 before breaking out to that 1250 area. So overall, I am still very bullish on Tesla. Now, going into tomorrow, I am looking at entries above 1250 for potential take profits at 1250. Sorry, 1240 is my entry, and I would take potential profits at 1250, which is all-time highs. Now, if we do see a break above that, I am looking at that next bullish take profit target of 1280, and we also have $1,300 price analyst upgrades on Tesla. So definitely, if the market conditions favor, you can see Tesla moving much higher to that $1,300 mark. Now, we did have some FUD going into the weekend with Elon Musk on Twitter once again. So I just want to keep you guys apprised of that. And, he's trying to sell 10% of his stock. So, rumor has it that this can push the stock down. Tesla could definitely take a nosedive. And, as from prior instances, when Musk usually goes on Twitter and rants on Twitter, you definitely see a push down on Tesla. Now, the last time he did that, we did drop down 4%, but buyers stepped in and bought the dip. So going into tomorrow, I am looking at a similar scenario, and some areas that I'm looking at to see if the stock does drop down is that 1150 area. As I mentioned here, we did consolidate and it was the breakout point. So I am looking for a break below that $1,200 mark for potential retest of 1150 if we do receive some bearish reaction towards his tweets. Okay. Now, if we can't hold 1150, 1130, and 1120 are other support zones that you can potentially see a bounce at, as we can see right here on Monday where it did hold that 1120 area. Overall, I am still bullish on Tesla, guys, and I am looking for that $1,300 price target by the analysts that they set on Tesla. Okay, next name on the list that did benefit from the market push, most notably from the semiconductors, was AMD. Now, AMD had a strong week, mostly in correlation to, NVIDIA's strong push and QCOMs strong earnings. All these names are part of the semiconductor sector, and the semiconductor sector had a 4% move, which is massive. We're talking about a whole sector of stocks, not just one name. So for the whole sector to move up 4%, AMD definitely benefited from that. As you guys can see here on Monday, we were at that 122.50 area, consolidating around there, and we finally broke out. We pushed all the way to 142, and we did close Friday session bullish, still around that 136 area above support 135. Now, going into tomorrow, I am looking above that 139.50 mark for potential take profits at 142, which is all-time highs that we set on Friday. And I also have 145 as my second take profit area. Now to the downside, 135 is key support right here. Now, if we do break below that, 130 and 128 are two targets I will be taking if 135 breaks for puts. Overall, the semiconductor sector is strong, and we also have analyst upgrades of 150 on AMD. So we got some great things going on this side of the spectrum with semiconductor sector pushing, analyst upgrades, and we are trending around the all-time highs area. So look for AMD for a continued move into next week. I am bullish on AMD, so guys, keep this on your watch list. Another name that is important, and this name has earnings, and it is an EV name, which is NIO. NIO is the ticker. And going in here to the 4-hour chart, right? I am going to show you guys where we are in terms of my entry point. So, we do have earnings on Tuesday, and the company has continued to hit its delivery targets, along with its expansion outside of China, which is pretty big, especially for an EV name, right? Analysts do have price targets of $70. And for me, I'll be watching that $44 area. If we break above that, look for a test to 47 and that 48.50 area on an earnings beat, right? Now, if we bomb on earnings, where do you see yourself going? Well, that $37 area where we wicked down and buyers stepped in is a key area for me. If we break below that, 34.5 and 33 are my two take profit targets to the downside. We did hold it here for support back on October the 15th. And, this name has held its own over the time and has stayed within that $40 range. So I am looking for that break above $44 on a bullish earnings. And as I mentioned, we do have analyst target upgrades of $70 on NIO. Okay, so that is NIO on the 4-hour time frame. Another name that is reporting earnings on Monday after the close, and that's AMC. And as you guys know, this name has been trending between that $45 to $33 zone. So on an earnings beat, I am looking for a break above 45 for potential retests of $50 and $53, which was the top here back on September the 13th. Now, AMC continues to trend within this channel, as I mentioned, but fundamentally, they announced that they will be entering the popcorn industry. Stuff like this for this type of name is definitely bullish. A lot of times when this stock was trending lower, it was in talks of being bankrupt, and the whole squeeze happened, and now there's an over exuberant amount of bullish younger crowd mostly interested in this name, mostly because they believe that it will squeeze. There is a lot of market manipulation, so definitely a positive catalyst would be an earnings beat, and something like getting into the popcorn industry can definitely only help this name moving forward. Now, as I mentioned, on an earnings beat, I am looking for a break above 45. Now, on an earnings bomb, and let's just say we don't perform great, I still see this name trending around that 45 to 36.50 area, around that certain area that will just trend around, going back and forth until we see some sort of bullish news or analyst upgrade or even potential short squeeze. So we are going to be stuck into that 45 to 36, even to 33 area. Now, if we do break below 33, I do have profit targets of 30 and 28 respectively, where we did have a low here back on August the 4th. But as I mentioned, I think we're going to be range bound on this name for quite a while. But if we do get an earnings beat, a bullish beat, look for that $45 target to get purged. Okay. Another name that is important to me, which is currently creating all-time highs, and that's Microsoft. MSFT is the ticker. And let me zoom in here, guys, on the 4-hour chart and give you guys pretty much an outlook. And you guys can see here, big move higher. We did close below that 340 all-time highs area. We did create intraday highs at that 338 area. Now, overall, the market was trending higher with the semiconductor and the tech sector pushing us all the way up, right? Going into tomorrow, I am looking above that 339. Let's just say 340 for round numbers sake, for potential take profits at 344 and 346. Overall, we do have analyst upgrades by Deutsche Bank of $390 on Microsoft. And fundamentally, Microsoft said it wants to build a data center with hemp and seaweed. Pretty crazy, right? And they want to build sustainable buildings with that. So overall, I will be watching 340 on the break to enter, for a blue sky breakout. And on a pullback, I am looking at that 330, 329 area where buyers bought the dip right here and pushed it all the way back up, creating those all-time highs. Now, if we do see a break below that 329, 330 area, look for potential push to 326, where again, buyers stepped in and bought it, right? And we do have previous resistance on this bull flag, which now turns to support. So a break below 329 and a half to 330, look for potential take profits at 326 on puts. And your next take profit area is that 320 area if we do see market weakness. But like I said, we do have analyst upgrades of 390. So definitely look at the S&P 500 to continue its push higher for names like Microsoft to benefit from that. Okay. Now, another name on the docket, right, is Pfizer. PFE is the ticker, PFE. All right. Here we are on Pfizer on the 4-hour time frame. I am going to come down here to the 1-hour time frame to give you guys an outlook. Now, this spike right here, pushed Pfizer pretty high, and it is approaching that all-time highs area at that $52 mark. I'm going to switch over here to the daily time frame, and as you can see here, a big wick up here, creating a gap above that 47.50 support line. Now we do have all-time highs, as I mentioned, at $52. And fundamentally, Pfizer has received 2 bullish approvals in the past 60 days with regards to their booster shots and their approval to vaccinate children, I believe from 5 to 11 years old. So it is one of those names that has been trending in the markets, and especially with Moderna, as you guys know, on their earnings bomb, it could be a name that could kind of take that place of Moderna and push to those astronomical highs like Moderna did. Okay, so I am looking above that $52 area going into next week for potential take profits at $56 and $60 for a blue sky breakout. Overall on, support, look for that $46 line to hold, right? As I said, we did gap up here. Now, sometimes when you do gap up, the stock comes down to fill that gap to test this strength of that $46 support line and then proceed higher. Or we can proceed higher from here, touching that $52 line before getting a rejection, then proceeding higher. But I am looking at that $46 line as support. Now, if that does break on weakness, look for 43 as your first take profit target and that $40.50 area as your second take profit target, as we did bounce here on October the 14th, and it was previous resistance here throughout April all the way to July. So we do have some strong support at that $40 area. So keep Pfizer in mind going into next week for a potential push to touch those all-time highs. All right, guys. Now, those are 7 names that I want to discuss on today market stream. And just to give you guys a recap, NVIDIA closed the week strong, up 16%. Look for a continued move higher. 320 is that price target by analysts. Tesla continued its rapid push, hitting all-time highs at 1250. Look for a move to test 1250 once more and even push to $1,300. But also be aware of the Elon Musk escapade that's going on Twitter. So we could see a push down and buyers step in and buy the dip. So keep that name in mind. AMD, strong week, 12% gains. Look for a continued move higher, especially with the semiconductor sector continuing its all-time highs. Okay. NIO reporting earnings on Tuesday. The company has been hitting their delivery targets as well as expansion in China. Analysts have targets of $70. So watch that. AMC reporting earnings on Monday. We got to break above $45, guys, if we are bullish. Microsoft at all-time highs. Deutsche Bank, $300.90 price target. That's big. Look for a break above 339, 340 resistance. And as I mentioned here on Pfizer, we do have some strong fundamental news in the past 60 days with approvals. Look for $52 to break. Potential take profit targets at 54 and 56. All right, guys, those are 7 names that are ready to break higher next week. So keep these names in mind. And if you are interested in trading with us at Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord, click the link in the description. It should take you to the checkout page. And if you have any questions, guys, always hit me up on IG at Wealthy Mentor Trading and join our community, right? Great bunch of guys that are willing to help you out with your trading journey, and it can only benefit you. All right. Thank you so much, and good luck trading heading into tomorrow. Bye.